Cryptos are us. I'm George. We're all George. So tonight, I want to talk about what the Fed minutes reported. Was it good? Was it not so good? Right? But in addition, I want to talk about Bitcoin and talk about this one strategy that works 100% of the time. You could say 60% of the time it works every time, like in Anchorman, but let's talk about it, and let's talk about other crypto news as well. So welcome, guys. Hopefully you guys are doing good. Hey, by the way, I realized Twitter also has a live streaming feature, so I'm streaming on Twitter. I don't know if there's any live chat or anything, so I just FYI, if you guys are watching on Twitter. It's new. I'm going to try. But anyways, take a look. Bitcoin is right back above 24,000. In fact, the George effect is in play right now. 24,487. Looks like we want to break right back to where we were before and possibly try to retest that 25.2 once again. I mean, this is how strong Bitcoin is. Was there ever any doubt? Not in my mind. I've been telling you guys, we are coming from the bottom. We are recovering up, and we are decoupling away from the US market, more importantly. Okay, today was not so good for a US market. But again, Bitcoin just comes right back up, ignores all that, right? But what was said exactly in the Fed minutes? Nothing really. Nothing really. Basically, all the governors that voted, they all agreed that it should have been 25 basis points. You had a couple that said 50, probably like Bullard. I think he has a vote. He's been very hawkish recently, right? But everyone agreed, 25 basis points, and basically wait and see before determining how many more, right? Take a look at the data. So inflation has been coming down. Obviously, CPI, PC, both have been showing inflation is coming down. So they just want to wait and see before making any hard decisions on exactly what the Fed fund rate should be. I mean, there's estimates right now, but it's not set in stone, right? So overall, it wasn't good, wasn't bad. The U.S. market was just kind of hovering around, like didn't really know what to do, right? And that's it. That was it. Like people were like trying to like read more into it. There was nothing more to read. It basically said inflation is going down, but we have more work to do. We're not at our 2% inflation rate. I don't know if the Fed could ever get down to 2% inflation rate, right? But it's just a whole bunch of nothing, right? Tomorrow, the U.S. market futures looking green right now, right? So could be good, but if this is a precursor of what's to come tomorrow, then tomorrow's going to be a pretty green day. We are above 24.5 already. So looking pretty good. Now, what else? I did notice this. This is pretty interesting. The money supply has been going up and up and up and up, not just in the U.S., in China also. You could see how the money supply in the U.S. pretty much, kind of stopped, right? Because now we're trying to control ourselves, and the Fed is trying to shed its balance sheet. We're trying not to print more money at this point, right? But look at China. China's like, F that. We want to spur up the economy. So they've been injecting a lot of money and buying bonds and doing a whole lot of stuff recently, right? And you can see the money supply in China is still heading higher, even though the U.S. is going sideways, right? But what does this mean? Well, when you have a lot of money being thrown out there, right? People tend to spend it. People tend to put it into investments like Bitcoin and crypto. And recently, China, we know, especially with what they're doing with their economy and also opening up, but also with their new crypto regulation that's coming out in Hong Kong, they could be turning very pro crypto in the near future. And imagine all this money that's being handed out, basically, injected in the economy, and the trillions that's sitting there, right? Imagine they all now have the ability to invest in crypto. How much money will be flowing in and how high things will get pumped, right? We can only imagine. It could be coming even before the end of the year. Hong Kong didn't come out with those regulations without the approval of Beijing, right? That's for sure. So they're allowing it, they may be opening up soon. That's something to consider, right? Okay. Now, outside of China, there's just a lot of stuff happening right now. USDC supply has been going down, even though a lot of people converted BUSD to USDC. But USDC overall has been coming down, right? 100 million? No. Between 100,000 to 100 million USDT came back down in a big way, like 8% within the last 2 months. It's a large amount. Hundreds of millions have outflowed from USDC and into, guess what, Bitcoin, right? Bitcoin's been leading the way, but also into a lot of crypto. A lot of projects have come up quite a lot from bottom. And actually today is Wednesday, right? I think I got my days right. Today's Wednesday, so we're going to see how my DCA portfolio is doing. Should be looking better this week than last week. I don't know, unless last week Bitcoin was at 25 already. But regardless, we may hit 25 by the end of this stream. We'll see. But yeah, you have you have a lot of people converting, right? And this is what I want to show you. According to Titan of Crypto, this has worked 100% of the time. Okay, so what is this? Well, it's one of those charts that show you a crossover. Okay, I've shown many like this in the past. You could have a EMA crossover, which forms a golden cross. You could have a RSI crossover. You could have a lot of crossover, stochastic crossover, and there's many other indicators I'm not that familiar with. A lot of crossovers left and right. Okay, the 200 weekly moving average, that's going to be a big one. That's going to be a crossover when Bitcoin finally breaks above 25.2, right? But here's another one basically showing, and this is on a longer scale, on 1 week chart. Whatever this crossover is, whatever Bitcoin crosses above it, okay, really good things happen. Really good things happen. And we're not quite above it, and I'm guessing that is right around 25.2. That's what it looks like. So this be correlating probably with the 200 weekly moving average, right? It's right there. All these, I guess, indicators kind of like formulate right at the same spot. And even the Fibonacci levels is indicating right around there, right? But we're about to cross that. And if we do, get ready. Get ready and strap on, because we will be heading much higher afterwards, okay? So this has worked 100% of the time. So until disproven, 100% accurate. Has worked every single time. And we're about to cross above once again. So that's pretty good. Here's also just basically, this is measuring short-term and long-term. Okay, when you have the red, pretty explanatory. People are in the red. And whenever we come up from deep red areas, when a lot of people are losing money, well, that's usually when capitulation happened and then the market starts recovering, right? Just like right now. We went through a deep red phase, right? Right when we hit about 15, 16, 17,000, right? Now we have come back above and we're out of it. It's looking good. It's looking really, really good. And the last thing about Bitcoin is just take a look. Supply last active, okay, right here in the middle. Bitcoin that has been held for over 6 months, around 15 million out of the 19 million circulating. That's a whole lot of Bitcoin being held, right? So that's a lot. And 1 year is about 13 million. So ultimately what this is showing is holders are holding and holding and holding. And another interesting thing is if you look at the purple line, you could see how the price of Bitcoin and the purple line, right, deviate. And whenever they get really close, like almost like a crossover, but whenever it gets really close, that's when Bitcoin goes on a parabolic run. And the last time Bitcoin and that purple line, which is supply older than 1 year, got that close, That was actually back in 2015, right? Even in 2019, 2020, it didn't get that close. Look at how close we are right now. That means the holders are basically dominating the space. There's a vast majority of Bitcoin being held by the holders, right? So if we're mimicking 2015, not even 2019, because there's a lot of comparisons to 2019, but if you compare it to 2015, well, guess what? A lot of good things are going to happen, right? So that's looking pretty darn good. Now, what else is going on? Well, there's some crypto news, some outside of Bitcoin news, crypto news. Here's one, BlackRock. We know BlackRock, they have their fingers in everything. Now they're coming out with a Metaverse-themed ETF. Okay, not populated by crypto companies, but companies that are dabbing into the Metaverse, including Meta, Apple, NVIDIA, also NetEase, and Roblox. But I'm sure they'll add to this. But what BlackRock is doing is trying to get entrenched into everything. They have a Bitcoin fund. They have a ETF, they have a Metaverse fund, right? They own miners. They do custody. They have ownership in Coinbase. They have ownership in Circle. So they have ownership in USDC. I mean, they have their fingers in everything. And guess why? Because they are getting ready for the next bull run. They said, enough is enough. We're not just going to let those pesky retail investors get rich. We want to get richer. They're already the largest asset manager on earth, okay? They hold what, like $12 trillion worth of assets, but they want to hold more because they're very lightweight in Bitcoin and crypto, so they want to go in. That's why they're so heavily invested right now in everything. I'm not saying that's a good thing, but if you know BlackRock is so entrenched right now, you know that great things are going to happen because they're going to be pulling in massive amount of liquidity into the space, right? So just picture that, okay? Great things are going to come. But speaking of Metaverse, a lot of Metaverse news today. Saudi Arabia partners with Sandbox, and they don't really say what they're working on. They just say that they want to work with Sandbox and they want to get into the Metaverse in the future. So this is the Saudi Arabia Digital Government Authority, and they have partnered up with Sandbox, and they're going to work together to, quote them, exploring, advising, and supporting one another in Metaverse development. Now, we know Middle East has a ton of money. So for me, I think they just want to, again, like BlackRock, get entrenched right now while things are really, really low and get ready for the next bull run, right? I mean, that's what it sounds like. They want to get in on the ground floor while things are still cheap before the next bull run. So you have that, but also there's a lot of other stuff happening with Sandbox. Ubisoft is pushing their Rabbids NFTs in Sandbox. I'm not so familiar with them, but okay. But Ubisoft is huge. They're absolutely huge in the gaming industry, right? Also, what's huge is TOEI Animation. I'm a big Dragon Ball guy. So I'm excited about this, and my kids got into One Piece now. I don't know what One Piece is, but they are known for their very, very popular anime, and they're partnering up with Sandbox, creating experiences and NFTs, right, within the Sandbox. So there's actually a lot of stuff happening with Sandbox right now. So quite exciting. NFT stuff is happening once again. Metaverse stuff is happening once again. We had this dry period where basically there was no news about any Metaverse plays, but now starting to come back. And speaking of the other big Metaverse, that is Decentraland. Decentraland is also having big movement. This one is actually talking about Fidelity. So besides BlackRock, Fidelity is also entering the Metaverse. But in terms of Decentraland, you have some huge, massive whale transactions happening right now. So is this in anticipation of the market moving upwards? You just had a whale move $190 million worth of mana tokens. What do they plan on doing with that? We don't know. But that's an enormous, enormous amount, right? So, again, like I said, Metaverse is NFT gaming starting to pick up once again. And the whole industry, the whole space is picking up. So very exciting times. All right. That's what I want to say. Overall market cap 1.10 trillion. So we're up a little bit versus this morning. I have a feeling tomorrow could be really good because Bitcoin started coming up. We're almost back to where we were. Like yesterday and the day before, like it didn't happen. I told you guys, right? You got to be patient. Even though it looked like, oh, we're going to fall and things are too high and people are still talking about retracing to 12,000 or 15,000, right? People that are just miserable because they missed out on buying low, right? Right now, we're still sitting very pretty. We only hit 24,000 and 25,000 less than a week ago. So when Bitcoin is ready, we will break through that pesky 200 weekly moving average. We'll cross over, and then 30,000 will be right around the corner. All right, that's it. Let's do some Q&A. Sorry, I was checking out my Twitter stream. It seems like no one is watching it. I don't know how it's working. I just discovered it like minutes before my stream, so I thought I'd give it a try, but if no one's watching it, that's okay. All right. I'm scrolling up, scrolling down. June, July is pump. March, April, dump. I don't know about that, green money. I don't know about that. Let's see here. Injective Protocol just launched a new sports prediction app called Frontrunner. I guess it's fully decentralized for gambling. Injection seems interesting. I'm not a fan. Well, first of all, I don't know. I didn't know they launched it, but thank you for sharing that. I'm not a fan of these prediction apps. There has been others, right? It's like more crowdsourced predictions where people place bets and then it can predict, events and stuff like that. I don't know. That seems like so much could go wrong. So it's good that they're moving forward. It's going to help Cosmos. Skipping Stone says, lots to look forward to in the next 18-20 months. You are absolutely correct. Nice video, George. I see you at El Salvador. I'm not in El Salvador. maybe one day. What are you doing when your bell passes? It's not going to pass. But I will ride those batteries inside there as long as I can. Ivan asks, is 2.3 BTC and 10 ETH enough to make 500,000 by 2025? I would say so. I mean, each Bitcoin could be as high as 200, 250,000 already. So having 2.3 itself could hit 500,000 by 2025. But even being conservative, let's say it hits 150,000 each. Then you have the 10 ETH, which at that time probably would be about 10, 15,000. I mean, you're probably, Ivan, you're looking at probably like $1 million. Good evening. I'm holding crypto, native coin CRO. I've been averaging down. Okay. Good for you. Good for you. I'm not, to be honest, I'm not that big of a fan of CRO. I think they'll come back. They're exchange and they are their own chain, the Chronos chain. They have some dApps within the Cosmos ecosystem. I don't know. For me, I just think they're a better place. 2 weeks ago, I asked about stablecoin tracking Euro, and someone made it. That someone is Circle. I'm pretty sure it's been developed. I worked with a project before that had it too, but it just wasn't very popular, and I forgot. Who it was. E-Money. I think that's what it is. E-Money. Hey, George, if 15 million of BTC is held, how is the price of 100K and beyond possible the total supply of 21 million? Daniel, it's just supply and demand, man. Supply and demand. Let's just say out of the 21 million, we're not there yet. We're about like 19.5, 19.8, whatever. Let's just say there's 10 Bitcoin left on Earth. And 10 Bitcoins are spread across 10 exchanges. And the highest bid is $10 million. That's how much a Bitcoin is. Because someone is willing to pay $10 million for a Bitcoin, right? It's a scarcity thing. The less Bitcoin in circulation, the better, because demand is still high and climbing higher, and supply keeps plummeting. What does that equal? That equals the price appreciation that will skyrocket towards the moon. That's how it works, Daniel. Troy Crypto, I have an idea called BitTube. It's a social media video platform where you buy crypto tied to the price of $1 and you pay 10 cents per hour directly to content creator as NFT. What do you think? You buy crypto tied to the price of $1 and then you pay 10 cents per hour directly to content creator as an NFT. I don't know. But if no one is buying the NFTs, then how are you going to guarantee that you go pay 10 cents directly to a creator? I don't know. That sounds a little unsustainable, but there's been other projects like that. I was part of one. I forgot what they're called, but they had creators as like liquidity pools, and then you could buy tokens and then earn interest by simply staking into the creator again. Something like that. It didn't work out. Like, no creators cared about it, and the economy just didn't make sense. Sell and may walk away. Don't forget people lost in a ton of euphoria, not enough max pain in the market for a bull run. Phil, I'll agree to disagree. Okay, I think saying like that are just from people that don't quite understand or just accepts that that trends always happen the same way they did before. And when it comes to Bitcoin, when it comes to the macro environment, when it comes to the money printing, it's not like before. It's not like before at all. I mean, what recession have we gone through? Okay, you tell me, what recession have we gone through where unemployment is at a 55-year low in the U.S.? Can you name one? The answer is none, besides the one that we're in right now. Okay? We're in a really weird situation where the macro economy seems like it's really bad, but because of all the money that was printed and handed out, there's still a lot of it sitting on the sidelines. So it's not like any previous recession. So just because before there's a saying that you have to sell in May and there may be more max pain, doesn't mean that it's going to happen. All you're doing is scaring yourself. Not saying that it won't happen. It could. But nothing is guaranteed. Nothing is certainty. What's your avalanche? Okay, Jazz Neil, that's way too much. All of them will go up at least 10x. Okay. Norman, appreciate it. Hudana deployed ZK primitives today. Have you seen their YouTube and overall updates? No, I have not. I have no idea what ZK primitives is, but it sounds like they're using ZK rollups for something. They already were very scalable. Very, very scalable. In fact, I think they projected 720,000 transactions per second. So I don't know what they're using ZK for. Maybe for privacy, private transactions. I'm going to look into it. I'm going to look into it. Oh, I forgot. Today is DCA Wednesday. Let me bring it up. Hold on. Not bad. Not bad. It's about the same as last week. I think it may be the same point. All right. So overall, this last week, yeah, about even. So basically, we're at the same point as last week, but that's okay. Last month, up 18, 19%. Last 3 months, up about 70%. So we're definitely in recovery mode. Overall, we're still down about 26%, but that's okay. As we climb higher, we will get back in the green. The whole point of DCA is to take the guessing out of it, right? Take the guessing out of it. Dollar cost average while things are low. So when things recover, you'll be in the green. I haven't really thought about who to add today. Maybe it's time to add some Sheeb ahead of Shibarium. And then also, I was thinking it might be smart to add some Conflux. Gala wouldn't be a bad time to DC Gala either. There are a lot of good choices. You know what? This week I'm just going to do some small caps or smaller ones. Stacks also. Stacks is getting really popular because of Bitcoin NFTs, ordinals. You know what? Maybe I should add some more stacks, although today is a horrible day to do it. But whatever. I'm going to add this week Sheeb and stacks, since you know, I haven't DC'd into them a long time, so that's what I'm going to do. Oh man, $50 could buy a lot of Sheeb. So 3734129. All right, and then stacks. .8084. All right. Okay. So I've been DCing a lot into Bitcoin and a lot of the big caps like Polygon and Phantom and Cosmos and VeChain. So this week decided to switch up a little bit. Stacks as Sheeb. Sheeb, of course, Shibarium is coming out pretty soon. And Stacks getting hot because of ordinals. So not bad, if I say so myself. Okay, so that's what I did this week. And we will see next week. Yeah, ZK rollups scale Cadena up even more and bring privacy. That makes sense. I mean, you use ZK rollups either for scaling or for privacy at this point, right? So, okay, makes sense. Is AMP back again? No, RP. No, it's not. Did you see news today that Tezos paired? Yes, Epic Balls. I covered that this morning. Pretty good. I mean, it's a light partnership. Basically, you can run Tezos nodes from Google Cloud. Great. But Google has made many partnerships like that in the past. Armand, big super chat. Thank you, my man. Crypto Foo, I watched Dragon Ball Super. I mean, Dragon Ball Super has been like 5-6 years ago. I finally introduced my kids to it, and they loved it. Dragon Ball Super 2 should be coming out soon. But that last movie that came out, I was not a fan of because they didn't make Goku or Vegeta the main characters. You know, no one wants to see Gohan be the main character or Piccolo be the main character. I don't know what's up with my Twitter thing. I'm live right now on Twitter and it shows 0 viewers. There's something wrong with it. It might not be ready for prime time. I don't know. It's working right now. It shows I'm streaming, but no one could view it. So I don't know what's going on with it. Troy again. Let me rephrase. BitTube uses stablecoins to purchase NFTs. Users use stablecoins, okay? The videos on the platforms are the NFTs at a rate of 10 cents an hour, so content creators don't have to rely on advertisements for revenue. Yeah, but where do content creators go get the 10 cents per hour? And honestly, 10 cents per hour is not going to incentivize any content creator. I mean, that's very little. You need to have like 1 million people watch to get any kind of, monetization. And how are they going to get guaranteed 10 cents per hour per user? That's only if users continue to keep buying NFTs. If they don't, then where's the money coming from? Evo 9 or Subaru WRX. I'm not a fan of WRX STIs. They all look exactly the same, so I would go Evo 9, although I've never driven an Evo 9 or a STI. I've driven a WRX, but not a STI. I don't know. People say it's not on my Twitter, so I don't even know. I got a link to it. It shows 0 viewers. Here. This is the Twitter broadcast link. I just posted it. I don't know why, if I'm going live, it's not on my feed. It makes no sense. Anyways. Why people like fighting Binance again? I don't know. People like to pick on they like to cause drama. Like a lot of people want to see Binance fail. That'd be the absolute worst thing ever. Entire market would crash and it'll probably disrupt this bull run for a whole cycle. I mean, it would be absolutely disastrous, right? Binance have been doing fine, okay? CZ is a good leader. They haven't been caught up in a lot of controversy, but people are trying to cause controversy. I don't know. People just like to attack the big guys. Well, after I sent the link, now it says 31 viewers. But again, I don't know why. I don't know if I'm supposed to retweet the broadcast to get people to watch it. I think something's going on with it. I think Twitter hasn't really thought about this live broadcasting. I think they just added it in there just to like kind of test out. Yeah, it's weird. Hello, Melissa. Thanks for watching. Treat Mike extra special today. All right. I glitched twice. Crypto bird. I appreciate that. Tell your wife that. All right, let's call it a day. Overall, Bitcoin is right back up 24.5. Today, Fed minutes didn't reveal a whole lot. Wall Street didn't know how to react, but tomorrow could be green, seeing how Bitcoin is moving upwards. We got a lot of players into metaverses once again, and Bitcoin is doing its thing and looking pretty bullish. So stay strong, my friends. I'll see you guys tomorrow, 8:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. Have a good one. Take care. Bye-bye.